Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Mrs. Wilson. This is the Sun Devil Learning Lab, 5th grade ELA. We have lots of fun things stored today and I'm excited. Let's get started. Today you'll need the things you'll need today are a pencil, paper or your ELA notebook, an extra piece of paper, and a clear workspace. I'll go ahead and give you guys a minute. Go ahead and pause. Welcome back. All right, let's review. Miss Mooney, you guys went over textual evidence. So your objective was that I can define evidence and find evidence in an informational text. So today, let me move myself. The topic of today is main ideas in informational text. So you're going to be analyzing a firsthand human rights account. So your objective is I can find the main idea in a first-hand account in a human right account. But first, we're going to play a game with the special guest. So this is our game, but let me introduce you to our special guest first. Special guest, come on in. So our special guest today is my son. His name, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Adrian White. I am 13 years old. I go to Miami High School. Is that right?
Yep. He goes to school here at our local school. It keeps wanting to show you the game. So first, let me show you the game. It's called the Mystery Bag Game, and Adrian's going to help us play it. I'm going to give Adrian 3 bags with items in it. So Adrian will pull out the items, and with your help, we will try and guess the theme. So basically, it's like trying to find the main idea of the Mystery Bag Game. So for instance, I may have icing, cake mix, and a mixer in a bag. So the theme or the main idea would be baking. So are you guys ready to play this game? All right, Adrian, go ahead and grab mystery bag number 1.
This one.
All right, this is our mystery bag 1. He's gonna go ahead and pull out the items. All right. All right.
Toothbrushes.
Toothbrushes, clue number 1, or a supporting detail.
Another toothbrush.
Ooh, that's a travel pack toothbrush.
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste. And what is that, Adrian? Like a toothpick, huh? Or like a flosser? So with all those being in the bag, what kind of main idea or the theme of this bag is?
Brushing teeth.
Like brushing your teeth, or maybe like a dental care? Let's see. Dental care, you guessed it. Did you guys guess dental care? Woo! You want to get in the camera, Adrian, so they can see it? There we go. He's kind of sitting in a small little chair. We're all crammed in my room here. Hopefully we can do some better. So that was mystery number 1. See, that was good. Good job. Okay, mystery bag number 2. All right, looks like we have, what is this? Paper.
Notes.
Or envelopes. Okay. And
pen.
A pen. So paper, envelopes, pen. What do you think this theme of this bag is, Adrian? What do you think somebody would be doing with the envelope, paper, and a pen?
Sending a note.
Sending a note? Maybe writing a letter? What do you guys think? What do you guys think that is? I don't know. Adrian thinks it's writing a note. Let's see what it is. Let's see what it might mean. Writing a letter. Good job, guys. All right, now for our last and final game, mystery bag number 3. Go ahead and get it, Adrian.
Just read.
Mystery bag number 3. Okay.
It's not someone.
This is detangling spray.
A brush.
A brush. And a hair tie.
Hair tie.
Detangling spray, a brush, and a hair tie. Adrian, what do you think this mystery bag's theme is?
Hair.
Like doing your hair, maybe getting ready to brush your hair? What do you guys think?
Brush your hair.
Have you guys ever heard of detangling spray? I like to spray this in my daughter's hair when it dries, so it helps get the tangles out. And then I don't know if you boys have really seen hair ties. Maybe your mom has one, but this Miss Wilson has one in her hair. It helps to keep it up. So I wonder if Adrian is right. Let's see. It's a hairstyling thing. Good job, Adrian. Thank you, Adrian, for joining us today. I'm so glad that you came and joined us. And I'm excited to introduce you to our mystery guest and for our mystery game. Good job.
Bye-bye.
Okay, to get started, first we're going to read a story. It's Teaching Nepalis to Read, Plant, and Vote by Leslie Reed. So we're going to go ahead and pull that up and get us started. You guys don't have to do anything. You could follow along with your reading finger or go ahead and listen. But I just want you to kind of pay attention to what the story is about and kind of pay attention to those things and just follow along as I read. And that's all you have to do right now. All right. 70 years ago, a boy named Vishnu Prasad Dehnagal Dungal was not allowed to go to school. As a result, thousands of Nepalis had learned to read and write. This is a remarkable story of Vishnu, his son Dinesh, and his Danish wife Ratna. When Vishnu was a child, there was only one school in Nepal, and it was far away in Kathmandu. It was actually against the law to start schools in the villages of Nepal because the government believed that it was easier to control people if they didn't know how to read and write. Back then, parents arranged to have their children married very young. Vishnu was married when he was just 9 years old, and then married again to his second wife when he was 15. He helped on the family farm, but he longed to go to school. Finally, he was so determined to get an education that he ran away to Kathmandu, walking for 3 entire days. He completed 1 year of school, enough to get a government job. Vishnu's wives had 25 children between them. Though 10 died from diseases such as smallpox and measles and malaria, a disease of tropical countries, as Vishnu's children grew, he was determined that they would go to school. So he brought a teacher from India to teach them. For doing so, Vishnu was sent to jail for 3 months for breaking the law. However, he didn't give up. He joined the Nepali Congress and then a legal political party fighting for democracy to fight the government in 1951. When a new government came to power, education was finally allowed. Dinesh is Vishnu's third son. He not only went to elementary school, he graduated from college because he had studied English. He was able to get a job teaching Nepali to U.S. Peace Corps volunteers. With the job came the opportunity to travel around Nepal. Dinesh soon noticed how few people Nepalis, especially women and girls, knew how to read. They now had the right to go to school, but they didn't have school or teachers. This realization inspired Dinesh to follow in his father's footsteps, a champion of education. As a result, thousands of lives were changed. Dinesh was fortunate to have Mary Ratna, a lively young woman who was also committed to helping the poor. They created an organization called the Non-Formal Education Service Center to educate poor Nepalis. Dinesh described the first project. We are working with very poor tribal group that lived in caves on the side of steep hills. When we first visited, they ran into the forest because they were scared of strangers. They had nothing, and I couldn't believe our brothers and sisters were living in this condition. While they set out to teach reading and writing, they quickly realized that they needed to do something about the poverty they saw. After talking with the villagers, they decided to buy goats for 10 poorest families. Goats could scale the steep hillsides and eat the brush that grew there. When the goats gave birth, the kids were given to the poor families. Dinesh and Ratna also learned that orange trees would grow in that area, so they planted hundreds of trees. The villagers were required to save 1/4 of the money they earned from the goats and oranges. With their savings, they sent their children to school that the center helped build. They were eventually able to buy land and build better houses. Since then, the center has taught 20,000 adults and 5,000 children to read, as well as helped to lift them out of poverty. They have built 15 schools and 56 drinking water systems and planted thousands of trees. When democracy came to Nepal in 1990, the center also taught the meaning of democracy and the importance of voting and human rights. Ratna was eager to help the women and children in other villages, so she started her own organization called Hands. To get the village, she had to wade a river 7 times. It was 3.5-hour walk to the nearest health clinic. When the river was flooded, the people couldn't get to the clinic at all. Ratna's organization built a health center. It also taught women and girls to raise animals, to farm organically, and to make tofu, to sew, and to make pressed flower cards. When Ratna sells in the United States, of course, they learn to read and write. In the poor areas of Nepal, Dinesh says there is no TV or computer or electricity. Most children do not have pencils or paper. When the rainy day starts, it seems like all the rain is falling in the class because the roof leaks so much. The classrooms are tiny, dark, and cold, and the children need to help their parents with housework, fetching firewood, and taking care of the goats of their younger brothers and sisters. Because of this, only about 1 of 10 children complete grade 10. Dinesh and Ratna have spent their lives trying to change this. Dinesh says, we are proud. Wow, that's an amazing story. I am so glad that we got to read that. So after reading that, this is what we are going to do. So just like last week, I don't know if you guys remember this, but first I want you to read, think, and then write. So what you're going to read today is we're going to go back, and I want you guys to read the first paragraph. That's just it. Nothing else, just the first little paragraph. I wanted you to reread it to yourself. And then I want you to think about what this paragraph might mean. Maybe gather some of the key details if you can't think that quickly, if you just want to put that down. But what is the main idea of just that little paragraph? And you can even relate it to some of the stuff that you already know and the things that we read. And then I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to go ahead and write that down. So go ahead and pause, reread the first paragraph, think about what it is, and then write it down. Wonderful. So hopefully you guys read, read, think, and write. So I hope you read, thought about what you're going to write, and write. So let me go ahead and present this so you don't see all my fun little notes. Okay, let's reread the first paragraph. 70 years ago, a boy named Vishnu Prasad Dungal was not allowed to go to school. As a result, thousands of Nepalis have learned to read and write. This is the remarkable story of Vishnu, his son Danish, and Danish wife Ratna. So I went ahead and looked at it, and I kind of pulled out some of the key details to help us decide what the main idea is. And don't worry, we'll come up with the main idea at the end, and it's okay if you didn't get the same answers as well. So some of the supporting details that I got out of this little paragraph was there was a boy named Vishnu. He was not allowed to go to school, and thousands learned to read and write from him. And Dinesh and Ratna are also important people. And Ratna is Dinesh's wife. So that's what I got out of the first ones. It's okay if you have different ones. It's okay if you said something different. And I was kind of confused too with these names. I really had to look them up. Like before we started, I had to look them up and how to pronounce it. And I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of the video, I kind of messed up with the names because I have never seen these names before. But I started just thinking and asking myself, what is this about? It says here that a boy wasn't allowed to go to school. And when I look back at this title, I see the word Nepali. That word is like a word of a country I know, Nepal, which is near India. So I figured out they were all from Nepal, and I decided not to worry too much of the names, but just to underline the three people, a man named Vishnu, his son Dinesh, and Dinesh's wife Ratna. I get that they are family, and I think they all really know about their names. So I'm going to read on. So that's kind of how I approached that one. Sometimes when names are hard, you just want to focus more on who they are and then their name, because sometimes it could be hard. But we know it's about a boy, and we know it's about a son and his wife. So we can pull those things out just like that. So good job, guys. All right, now we're going to do it again. Now this time you're going to look at paragraph 2. I want you guys to read, think, and write. So you're going to reread paragraph 2. You're going to think about what it means, and then you're going to write. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some minutes. You can pause the screen, and whenever you're ready, I'll welcome you back. Good job, guys. All right, second paragraph. When Vishnu was a child, there was only one school in Nepal, and it was far away in Kathmandu. It was actually against the law to start school in the villages of Nepal, because the government believed that it was easier to control people if they didn't know how to read and write. So hopefully you guys wrote some key details. I'll go ahead and show you what I wrote. Some of the supporting details that I got. One school was far away in Kathmandu, is what I got. I got that it was against the law to go to school, and the government did not want them to read or write. And we also could probably write why. So right here it says, because the government believed that it was easier to control people if they didn't know how to read and write. So hopefully you got some of those, and it's okay if you didn't. We will work on those together for sure. Okay, let's go on to the next. So in thinking about these two paragraphs, we pulled out some key details, and now we want to think about what are these two paragraphs about? So in your own words, I want you to pull out your ELL notebook and gather your key details, and or your supporting details, and I want you to kind of write a rough summary of what those are. And it's just like a few sentences. You're kind of just gluing all of those supporting details together to kind of give the gist of what these two paragraphs are about. And go ahead and pause your screen and go ahead and write that down. All right, good job. So I went ahead and wrote it down about what I kind of gathered and what my supporting details. And it is okay if you did not get the same ones as I did. And if you wanted to rewrite yours that looks like mine, you can do that too. It's whatever you need to do to help you understand. So paragraph 1, I kind of summarized it like this. This is a story of Bishnu, his son Dinesh, and Dinesh's wife Ratna. We will learn of how he learned how to read and write a long time ago and how it changed the future as a result of many learned how to read and write. Now it's kind of like a run-on sentence, so I could probably do a better job of shortening it down, but that's what I got so far. So this is all this rough draft stuff, so whatever you got, I'm sure sounds great. So then paragraph 2, I kind of summarize it like this. Bishnu lives in a town named Nepal, and the government did not allow people to go to school to try and control the people. The closest school was far away in Kathmandu. So that is great. So this is the gist of our lesson today. We're not going to cover the rest of the paragraphs. We're just going to focus on those two today. We're going to continue to work in this passage again tomorrow. So your exit ticket today is, I'm going to challenge you guys to work on paragraph 3 with people that you're working with today or people at your center, wherever you're at. I want you to work on paragraph 3. Remember to read, think, and rewrite. And then I want you guys to know just to have a great summer day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.